Ah, there's a little snake in the grass right there.
What's up,
Hey, little boy.
How we going?
Are you lost?
Definitely lost.
Where's your mommy, little boy?
And then that process of the recovery from shoulder surgery is about 8-9 months per shoulder, you know? So that first year was just me recovering from shoulder surgery and dealing with all the mental stress of my decisions and my actions. It's just kind of, it was like all of it together, you know, like I said, the suspension, the ridicule of surgery, not being able to compete, not being able to do what I love to do, just kind of weighs on you, you know. But with any negative situation in life, I've always said it's as mentally positive as possible. I've always been a super mentally positive and strong athlete, and I've kind of turned the same thing into my lifestyle. So I turned that, shitty situation I never wished to ever go through again, but turned it into a positive for myself. I've been able to really focus on business outside the cage.
Yeah, I think he is the real deal. Like I said, anybody in the UFC is very good. So I just haven't seen enough of him to really break it down and see, like, all right, this guy is the real deal. We haven't seen enough of his striking. Even though he threw one punch his last fight, knocked a guy out, it's still not enough to see where he's at in the top, right? In the top of the division. You got a good striker like Leon Edwards, and he's also a fairly good grappler. I don't think he's the same level as Khamzat, but I think he is able to keep the fight standing. We'll see. I think it is a little too soon to really break him down.
Matt, now look, when you're doing your thing, right, you have to make sure that for a ground opponent, you can either have a knee on the mat, you can put a hand on the mat. It can't be like this. This is what the ref explained to me, which is pretty cool. When you understand it too, when you're on ground position, it's really hard to understand where the other person is in position. It's just a crazy different type of positioning. Thus how I was on my back a lot of the fight, which I'll get right into detail with that. A lot of no-gi jiu-jitsu, non-traditional stuff. So we'll talk about that in a second. But as far as, hi, how you doing, buddy? When we get to a grounded opponent, you can try to move and you can advance. This is good too, is what we explained, right? This is a ground opponent too. So you have knee, you have a hand placement, or you have all three or all four. So situation for the up kick, so you're saying, no, Tony got robbed. No, motherfuckers, look, it was an illegal up kick, perfectly legit, to stay within the rules, which is really cool. Shout out to Oliveira too, like during the match, I said, hey, sorry for the eyes. And he's like, nah, man, you're cool, we get this. Same thing for me, bro. You have to stick within the rules, man. It's awesome. So for you fighters, understand the rules in the rules meeting. If a referee asks you to use the rules, right? If he asks, do you have any questions about it? Yes. Say, can you help me understand the rules, which is good. It will help in the situation when you're out there. You will remember everything. Let's go touch base on the toes in the cage, right? That's another one, right? This goes kind of funny. Here, look at it. So where we're at, what we practice here on the mat, right? So situation type of stuff too, where you're practicing on the mat is amazing. In the cage, look at, we have cage, right? Which is like this. When you're positioning your foot on a cage, right? It is possible to get your toes caught in here. But if you do realize that you're doing that kind of a thing, you have to advance. You know what I mean? You have to kind of move, and you have to be able to make sure that you're using it for a specific purpose, for balancing, reversing situations like mine in that fight, that was causing for a 0% chance for a submission. I actually went for an armbar, and that should have probably took his back, like I said, double under, but that's a whole different story. We'll get that later. So what I'm talking about is like when you train on this, right? Oh, I train on a mat. Oh, it's okay. Yes, I train on a mat too. Right. No, acknowledge the situation where you're at. Start climbing and do the same thing. That's what we do. Okay, now we're gonna get back to the fight. Check this out. The stand-up battle. All right, so in a situation where here, we'll go this way. Like Landon Venata, right? Here, watch. Like Landon Venata. Okay, right away, it was not about a respect or anything. What it was I didn't anticipate it. Quick as fuck, Cisco, bam. Oh, like, what the fuck? No, I got hit. It was kind of one of those vibes and the same kind of thing. You cannot take your opponents for granted. Here. You cannot take your opponents for granted. As soon as you get out there, right, you have to be fucking ready. You have to be ready. You can't just take it easy in the fight. Veterans like myself, I'm out there. I'm not that old. Yes, I'm fucking old. I'm like a third century old. I get it. It's awesome, okay? Look, right, cool. So we're just two muffins, right? But look, back to the point of what we're talking about, right? So what we do have is a stand-up battle. Okay, we were kind of doing pretty slow in the first part, but once we started to react and we did some like sticky hands, I'll say that, you know what I mean? When we started applying it and then like hitting right back, we were getting a lot sharper. He did not want to get any more of those leg kicks. I mean, those checks. The one thing that I did realize in this fight, and I will be real with you, the one thing that I did is we kept moving, which was nice. That kept off his timing in the takedowns. Once we fucking slipped on the mat, no excuses, okay? So that means mat time. It means having to get a canvas back in this motherfucker too. Before I was on here, res light mats, I love you guys too, but I have a canvas that's gonna be nice and we can go over this and do some boxing stuff too. So I'm not looking for a company for canvases and everything. I'm a res light guy, okay? So I'm gonna work with res light to try to figure something out so that way we can get like maybe a protective covering for these things, which is pretty fucking cool. I'm down for that. So shout out to res light. Hopefully we'll be talking to you soon. Okay, next, there's no excuses to slip. Why slip? You slip in a fight, it creates opportunity for the other person. Keep your feet. I'm always talking about, what is POB? Point of balance. That's what we do. That's what we do here, point of balance. Our point of balance is always good. The gap right here, which was really interesting, I was always walking towards him, which is kind of fun. Man, these guys are getting sharp.